good afternoon and welcome to our afternoon safari on a very lovely Monday afternoon. This is Tingana Game Reserve. My name is Mark. Andrew's with me on camera and we're coming to you live from the Great Kruger National Park in South Africa. A really wonderful wildlife area that is very, very rich in its diversity. And I'm hoping that we can at least address some of that diversity on our drive this afternoon for the next 3 hours. With a little bit of help from all of you, the viewers, because this is an interactive show. It's not a show. This is an introduction, or this is a continuation, depending on how long you've been viewing. If this is new, this is your introduction to our live drives. And for all of those WildEarth family out there, a continuation of our journey around Tingana Game Reserve, and I hope any of you who are new are going to join us again and again and again, because you're going to find out how fantastic it is to be able to be a witness to the ongoing sagas of individual animals, to the varied and intricate lives of all sorts of creatures, be they reptiles, birds, insects, spiders, mammals, sometimes even fish. We don't get to do underwater stuff very often, and that's mostly because the underwater stuff here is unfilmable. Very dark waters. What we could do, I suppose, is maybe put them in a clear perspex tank and put them in clear water, but it just wouldn't be the same. However, welcome to Tingana. It's a very, very hot and muggy, kind of humid afternoon, and while we've got some beautiful blues, look at that blue sky, that beautiful blue sky to the east and the northeast, I want to show you something about how the weather is treating us this afternoon. Although Andrew's going to probably battle.
Where am I going?
You're going to the blue sky, and then with that blue sky that's down there, you can see this big tongue of white cloud hanging above it. And this is the edge of a very big front, very big, actually it's not a front, this is a cell, a storm cell. And we're going to actually go up to quarantine right now. We're going to have a look at that storm cell shortly, because it gets very, very dark to the west. Looks like a raisin bush growing in the middle there, in that fork of that knobthorn. Oh. This is a knobthorn tree, and there's something that could be a gruyere or a raisin bush growing in its fork from the bird dropping the seed. There's one thing that comes along with this weather that we haven't had, I don't think, once this entire summer. And it was the first thing that Andrew remarked on when we came out this afternoon. We haven't had it in camp, but that was the northeast and the east, that lovely blue sky. But now we can continue. If we go back to that, what we were looking at in the northeast. Anyways, yes, so we are inundated with flies at the moment. This is a very good sign that there might be rain. Andrew begged me to keep going and not stop, because as long as we drive, we can maybe get rid of some of them. They're tiny little, they're very similar to the domestic fly that you might have in your house, but they're just very much smaller, and so they tickle everywhere. I'm just not into tickling right now. So look at this, we've got that beautiful silver edge to this dark cloud. And then as we go to the south, this is now looking west, we're now gone from east looking west into darkness almost. Not quite Mordor, as Andrew would put it. Getting there. Fortunately, it's very, very far in the west. I don't think it's going to affect or impact our drive this afternoon. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to change over the next 3 hours. If you're interested in how weather works here in South Africa, as opposed to snowy North America, Britain, Europe, Northern Hemisphere. I'm sure any of the Aussies that are watching, or New Zealand, might be familiar with the Southern Hemisphere phenomenon, but we are in the end of summer. It is sadly getting yellower and yellower by the minute. We look now, I mean, just now, instead of a bright blue sky, looking against the dark sky, look at, there's a yellow bush willow in there that's almost entirely yellow. Sorry, I'm giving you work, Andrew.
I don't mind.
Dry leaves. Today I think desiccated more things, or I think because of the heat and the dryness today, I think it's sort of exacerbated the dryness or enhanced the dryness of it all. I just want to get up onto quarantine.
Which was quite scary because we were about 50 meters away from the buffalo when it got hit.
Another giraffe.
Oh, another giraffe. There's 2 or 3 we can't really see further back that way. We'll stick with the one out in the open. Heading back to where the other ones are, or we're going to head around us. I can't see where she's going. Down the road. To the next acacia. Such elegant animals. Long tail for swatting flies. Good afternoon, Kathy. Welcome on Drive with us this afternoon. Kathy would like to know, would a giraffe ever charge a vehicle? No, they don't. I've never even heard of them ever being aggressive towards a vehicle. And they do have, and she would also like to know if they have any favorite food species. Generally, one of their favorites is the different acacias. So a lot of the acacia species, they do eat bush willows as well, but acacia seems to be the preferred species. What she's feeding on now. Okay, well, let's leave the giraffes and see what else we can find. Oh, seems to be going the same direction as us. Well, it could be a very nice shot if she walks down the drainage line. Very interesting shot. I'll stay a little bit longer after all. Good afternoon, Ellen from Maine. Welcome on Game Drive with us. Ellen would like to know, elephant hair and giraffe hair bracelets are normally genuine? No, they're not. They're mostly plastic, to be honest. There are certain places you can get genuine ones, but they are mostly not genuine. Looking back to where the other giraffe are. How's morning? Oh, evening. Yeah.
Cool, right?
What's the update on this?
No idea.
This like, yeah, is he moved or I can't find any Konzo outside, so.
I mean, somewhere.
Oh, there wasn't England actually for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Very cool. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, should we leave the giraffe and go see if we can find some leopards? So we're gonna head up the Mulwati. Oh, hello. We're sitting there like silly. We've got trucks of what I'm guessing is Kunuma heading up the Mulwati drainage line. And I checked here this morning, so this is from during the day. Trucks of Mododo Ingwe heading north in the Mulwati from Garime. Went up here. Trucks went up there. And they haven't come back down. Just gonna have a quick little walk on top here. I'll be back in a second. Come on, and off this morning I need some luck. It was a long morning this morning.
Welcome back, everybody. And I'm driving into a storm. So we've got a most beautiful thing happening. I'm charged by an electric storm that's blowing over in the west, and I'm trying to get to a patch of Arethusa. Oh, hello, little steenbok. I didn't see you, child. Sorry. There have been a few very big bolts of lightning to the west. Just to the northwest of us, looking out over this is the southwestern corner of Djuma, where we are right now. Beautiful orange sky. Where did she go? She went. The female steenbok. It's an orange glow of sunset, and I think we're going to head towards an area of Arethusa where we're going to get a beautiful view of the storm that's brewing. It's a unique opportunity to see it. And in the north, we can see the round edge of that storm cell that I showed you at the start of drive, and how far it's moved. It's moved way over to the north and the northeast. And there's just that little patch of blue sky in the north now. The rest of the sky is getting dark. It's getting fun. Now there was a report of elephant up at Arethusa Dam in front of the lodge. Head in that direction, but I've got to time it right, because I've got to see whether this lightning and thunder and all of the storm that's ahead of us is going to carry on to the north, or if it will swing this way. Either way, we are, I think, going straight. I suppose I better obey traffic rules. Look left and right and left again. A flower. Good, and you? Anything happening this side?
I think it's just one ingwe on Central.
Okay. I'm just going to see the storm.
Okay, cool.
Maybe in Ingwe.
Hey, yeah.
Or in Dlov. I know there was some in Dlov at the dam in front of the lodge.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that came through from our camera that's there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, enjoy. Oh, sorry. We're at a big junction. Sorry, I'm just talking to another guide. Big junction coming into the Sabi Sands, and that's the sign to Arethusa with a adenium and adenium, not a English. Oh, no wonder there's just multiple vehicles. There's an Ingwe on Central Road in Arethusa, and there are already 3 vehicles that have flown by to go there. Maybe it's shadow. Keep an ear on the... Keep an ear to the radio. Several standby vehicles for that leopard close to Arethusa Lodge. Keep an ear on the radio, maybe we'll get to see it if we're lucky. But we'll try and find other things along the way. The storm is going to be moving over. It'd be nice to get to a spot where we're going to be able to see the distant sky. hours mark coming onto Safari now. Like I said, oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I believe there's a bit of a standby there. Copy that. I'll hang back for a while and see if it eases up a bit. Definitely, since I'm speaking about him. Alright, copy. So who's in charge of the lock? Okay, copy. If you can just put me on the lineup and let me know. Copy that, thank you. A slightly different dynamic once we come onto Arathusa now, different radio channel, and I think in a sense a lot more, at the moment, a lot more vehicles. There's a lot more reciprocal traversing with other lodges, so there's a protocol, there's procedures to follow, but there is good news, and it was a nice decision. Thanks Alex actually for letting me know that there were elephant at Arathusa Dam, and since we are on a standby for another sighting, we're going to go and see if we can find them. But it turns out that there's something special sitting in a tree somewhere, and it's going to be a little while before we can go to that sighting, and in the interim I want to see if we can find those Ellies. But we're also storm chasing. We're edging around the back of the storm, and I hope we're going to get to a certain spot where we're going to be able to see it quite nicely. It seems that the lightning's abated. I think the peak of it is past. As I said that, I better not preempt things then. Well, we're now driving towards the airstrip, and maybe we'll catch a bolt of lightning. Maybe it'll get it, maybe camera will pick it up if it flashes again. I'll drive slower. Hello, hello. Good and you?
Pretty good.
Very good, yeah. Hi everyone.
Oh, fantastic.
I know, and the sky and the storm and it.
I love it.
Are you also charged?
Yes.
I hope you can hear that thunder coming through on the effort.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is that can be picked up. One of these days I should probably have them on. Rumbles of thunder. It's not a very big storm. I think most of it is hitting Acorn Hook. By the looks of things, it's probably about anywhere from 10 to 15 kilometers away, and it's probably about just as wide, maybe a bit wider. No, maybe not that wide. There's a column of rain that's off to our northwestern side now, right there where sunset should be. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any of it. blue sky and lighter colored sky coming. It looks like it's getting very dark right now. It's not, it's because of that. It's covering the sun. We might get still a little bit of light coming out as it moves to the north, although it's moving very slowly. It's fun to watch these storms. I just wish that I could watch one come over our way. One of the most amazing things to do in the bush, because they don't happen that often, as often as they did many decades ago when I was a kid. I was guaranteed to have afternoon thunder showers. Now you get a few a season, and they tend to be either very narrow and isolated, or there's just a lot of water in a short amount of time and it's too much for the ground to soak up. I'm feeling one or two drops, but I'm not worried. I don't think we're going to have any drops. This is the price we pay, venturing into the storm to see a surprise, a Monday afternoon surprise. Oh look, there's a dead tree. There, that's the surprise. There's a surprise. The airstrip is a surprise. Oh, look at that. Oh wow, yeah, there's going to be more there. You can see there's a dead marula tree on the bottom right of your picture in that orange sky and that little bit of brightness. There's actually rain falling directly behind it, quite a lot of rain actually. But that's just the edge, because to the, oh, my screen went blank.
Did it?
But it came back, no, it came back. But on the left is where the main storm is. You can see how dark, as you go left into, there's the column of water that's coming down. Getting a few drops. Going to wet my hat. Don't you? There was lightning. I don't know. Did you see that?
I was just about to pick up the water cover.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming out.
Well, this is the best thing to do until we can get to where we're going to go in a few minutes. We can't see that sighting yet, but we're going to get there. We might have to cover everything. Mark your go. Okay, copy. We're just filming the storm on the airstrip at the moment, so anytime. Here comes the rain, the edge of the storm. The rain cover on. So we're just trying to... I've got to do something with my books. So, while we're watching this wonderful storm, hello Valerie in Canada, wanting to know if we ever get snow. There, I think my books are safe now. Camera, phone. Do we ever get snow? Not here, Valerie, not in this altitude, and not at this in this part of the world, no. There are parts of South Africa that do. Drakensberg Mountains, in fact, although we don't get it in this part of the Drakensberg. There are areas of the Drakensberg further south, and mountains of Lesotho, which is just another small country within South Africa, country within a country. You want to put that over? Okay. Try and... Well, I'm not going to be able to talk, it's going to make a bit of a noise. Excuse me, Valerie.
Let me just angle this forward, then we'll have to drive forward.
Yeah. We're just trying to get our cover over everything. Oh, dusty. Wow. Up, down. Okay, that'll do. But Swaziland and Lesotho Are you on? No. I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's going to... We'll go down up to the southern end of the strip and try and get away from it a little bit. It is moving north, so if we just get to a bit more to the south. Andrew's just securing things. Trying to talk and trying to listen at the same time and concentrate on what I'm saying. Mountainous areas, yes, down into the Western Cape as well. Winter, particularly sort of late winter, July, August. Oh my word! I don't know. I hope you saw that, folks. I don't know. I think the camera was pointing in the. It was almost extreme lightning. Andrew, you might want to be sitting on top of these rubber tires round about now. I'm going to drive very, very slowly. The drizzle is wetting my hat. It's going to make my hat dirty. That's what hats are for, I guess. Now we're ready. Andrew's back on. Go ahead. Derek in the UK is asking a question. Interesting question. Derek is asking if there is any animal that I could introduce into the Djuma ecosystem without it impacting the ecosystem. What animal would it be and why? Oh, hang on. That's me. Someone's calling. Andrew. Mark your go. It's not going to work. We can't. We're going to have to either get wet or shut down. But I can't. We're going to. Yeah, Mo. Go ahead. I'm on Central. I'm getting to Buffpan, coming on, or rather Airstrip coming on to Buffpan now. Okay, copied. I don't. It's not raining hard enough, and it's not going to be. But this side, we can't have this, and it's upturned to go in. So somehow we'll just have to deal with the drizzle because it's. I think also as we get further south, I think we'll be getting out of it, unless it swings around. But. So back to that question, Derek. I can't think of a single animal, to be honest. I don't believe that in a situation like this, I don't believe that there is any animal that you could introduce here that wouldn't have an impact on what exists here already, because pretty much the biodiversity that exists here already, the biodiversity that we have in the greater Kruger region, is what it is. There are no animals that no longer exist here. Well, I mean, given the current rhino situation, it would be pretty silly to put rhino here. Sorry that I'm breezing past you. Wow. Coming around the back of the storm now, actually. Might be still a few drops. This is Central. This place that we're going to right now is, well, it's not a place, it's a character who I mentioned recently. I don't know if anybody's guessed it yet. We were talking about, not giving it away. Could be a waterbuck, could be a warthog, could be a monkey in a tree. How's everybody doing on a Monday? Monday morning, Monday evening, Monday wherever. Central heading Central East, coming up to junction. So where am I going from here? Yaga. About 2 out of 5 there. I'll try again when I get closer. A little better, thanks. Copy that, thanks a lot. Getting very dark soon, unless it's getting very late in the afternoon. Okay, copied on Central West. Be in the limit of our signal. Everybody's sitting on the end of their seats yet. I am. Big marula trees, big cluster leaves. Yeah. Copy, thanks. Which side of that marula do you want me? Copy, thanks. So, time has come for us to leave the road and go in search of many things. It's one thing really. But, somebody's got to come out before I can go in, or we'll just pass him on his way out, I suppose. like a very thick tree. Hello. Very good, and you? Good, thanks. Thanks very much for the help.
Thanks, guys.
Surprise for you. A cat and a kill in a tree. Gosh. Goodness me. Happy belated birthday, Dr. Seuss. Now, we'll find a place to film from. Okay, Lunko. Very good, and you? Hi. Yeah.
You see my poncho, you can talk to me as well.
Yeah, sure.
It's on the back top.
Okay. Hope he won't find it. Not to worry, we'll sort it out. Now, because this is a surprise, and probably a very nice one at that for all of us, more so for me, maybe, I'm going to leave it up to you to tell me who this is. It's very difficult because he's given it away. Yes, it's a he, it's a boy, I believe. I've never seen this cat before, so it's quite new. Going to drop it if he carries on doing that. Looks like a young steenbok that he's caught. So how's your Monday now? Look at the size of that paw. He's got his fingers real stretched out now and his claws holding onto it. If we could just break that little piece of marula and just bend it down. That's not a steenbok. What is that? An aardvark. What is that thing? It's an aardvark.
No ways.
Yeah.
Look at the claws.
Yeah, that's an
Unbelievable.
I thought it was a steenbok. Why did I think it was a steenbok? And we might not even be live. Yeah, I am copying Brent. I just want to know if I can't get hold of Alex, whether I'm still broadcasting. Okay, I need a relay. I'm not copying Brent now.
Yeah.
Okay, copy that. Thanks. I think Alex, maybe you can.
He's talking.
Yeah, I am. Okay, sorry, I think it was all the other radio talk that I had to come into the site and I had to turn you down. Sorry, Alex, left the volume down. Okay, I didn't want to, I've asked if anybody can ID. Okay, so whoever said Tingana. Oh. Just to confirm everyone, this is Tingana. This is Tingana, and he has killed an aardvark. Very unusual kill. And it's starting to rain again. What you can hear mostly is crunching, I'm afraid. For those of you who might be a little bit squeamish, it is crunching. That's the tail hanging down just in front of Tingana. Yeah, or at least the plastic on that. I'm just going to quickly put the cover on the camera. It's starting to rain harder. I think it's the first time in my life I've seen an aardvark up a tree with a leopard on it. What's this one? This one. No, it isn't bad. I suppose it's a bit too wide. I suppose now you can hear rain. Maybe what you're hearing now is rain. Earlier on when we first got here it was all crunching. And it looks like we might have to leave. Only because of the rain. Well, I'll see. I've got this blanket can go over things for now. He's a big male, this, by the way. I think he's as big as Mvula, if I'm not mistaken. Who would have thought we'd have so many raindrops falling on my head?
It's quite difficult.
With the cover?
Yeah.
No, it is, unfortunately.
Shine it on him more.
I can't put it on his face. Oh, now it's mostly raindrops. Don't want to shine directly at him, but
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, that looks good.
Are the front lights on?
No,
The side ones?
no. Don't know if it'll make much difference.
Try turn it upwards.
I'd have to loosen things to get it, but there.
Yeah, that's quite nice. Perfect.
Not a spotlight. Must be a pretty tough animal to eat, actually, because aardvark are very, very thick-skinned, as far as I know.
Leopard.
Oh. Okay, so I can switch that off then. Of course. Sarah in California is asking if it chased or dug it out of the hole. Could have been either, Sarah. Could have been at the entrance to intimidate it. As you can see, of course, the hyena have arrived for any scraps that have dropped. I've seen a few scraps dropped actually. Guess the hyena hasn't picked them up yet. The smell. Getting the lens wet. You can see the size of his canines. He's not a young leopard. But unfortunately, folks, it's going to be time we're going to have to go because there are other vehicles coming into the sighting and it is getting wet. I think we're going to have to move to run out of here. Let me just find out quickly. Any stations on standby for Ingrid? Station on standby for Tingana. Okay, that's it. Hey, what's your luck now? Is it Stefan? Okay, Andrew, we're gonna move along. 2 more seconds. Okay. He's actually slicing through skin there, using his carnassials, cutting teeth. See this very stubby tail of the aardvark, and they've quite a unique foot as well. There's the snout hanging and the ears. It is perhaps gruesome for some. It's a remarkable thing to witness for some as well. Very, very weird. I'm going to go forward. Let's try just a slight different angle. Oh, there you go. At least his 4th aardvark kill in the last year. Shows how much I know, eh? He's obviously specializing in them, which means that he's either digging them out or he's intimidating them till they come out, or finding them and waiting. A very new experience for me. going to be moving shortly. There's still a line up here. Okay, copy. Alright, we need to move along because we're still good.
I'm not sure it's a battery time. It will be. That's fine. Right over.
Are you moving?
Right there.
Okay, I'm going to move.
That's fine, Mark.
No, I thought there's a standby.
Yeah, but he said he's taking photos from the airstrip, but just make sure.
I'm not copying him. Who is it?
Stefan.
Oh, is it Stefan?
Stefan, is jy reg om na toe te kom? Maar jy kan kom, maar gaan vir jou plek maak hierso.
Okay, if he's on the airstrip, I've got a few moments. So I believe this is his 4th aardvark this year, or in a year.
What you say?
Oh, hang on a sec. Go again, Alex. No, I am. Just the vehicle is a little bit far away, so I'm not copying it. But I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes or so until he gets here. I was saying I believe this is his 4th aardvark in a year.
It's like he's turning into an aardvark specialist.
Yeah, it's the first time in my life I've experienced it.
It's crazy, eh, Mark?
Yeah.
He's a killer.
I've had many porcupine specialist leopards.
Yeah.
My first aardvark.
I've seen lions take aardvark.
Yeah. Too much.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Thanks.
The lightning.
Weird hands and weird feet.
Oh, yes.
Still tail. What video light do you guys use?
Light.
What video light do you use?
Oh, we've just got small LEDs on each side. Just fills a bit. Oh, but this is a bit white though.
Yeah, it's very white. Oh, the LEDs are cool. Kind of opens them up.
Thanks, Sharon, by the way, for the information. Sharon in Austria. With the eye of clear sky through the storm. The eye of sunset. Sets the scene, that's for sure. I mean, the contrast of the leopard in the tree and that bright orange spot of sunset, and then hopefully a blast of lightning in the background.
I've never heard of that. That's actually pretty emotional.
And then when we stop,
I actually don't get the J Mazel.
You see that the light, that difference.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody see that light in the back?
yep, I saw it.
Hey, now I see.
I'm just waiting for this other vehicle to get here, but I'll be moving out shortly. I'm going to have to move back now because with them coming this way. I don't know what he's doing. Can we get in there? I thought he wanted to come in here. getting confused.
See, there was that.
Hyena, yeah.
I'm holding it underneath, like you said.
I was waiting for Stefan.
I guess I did.
He's at the back. Don't
Huh?
worry about it.
Not from stairs, right?
Oh, okay. That's different. That's a whole different.
Yes. I think
Wow,
so.
so much different about it.
See you guys.
Bye. I'm just don't understand. Yeah, I think the storm's turning, it's coming back this way. Seeing something. Oh, nearly dropped it. Oh, that seems it's largely separated. Probably just a little bit of skin connecting the head. see what that is there, Andrew? Was it the hyena?
Hyena. Yeah, hyena.
Lying down.
Yeah.
Copy that, Alex. Stefan, come in. Or are you waiting for me to pull out? Okay, it's time to go. And maybe we can cross over to Brent and see what he's up to. Just before, not before. Pathway, or when they're out foraging and walking during the night, and there are leopards that specialize in porcupines. They know how to catch porcupines, and so I guess it's not a far stretch to accept that there are leopards that specialize in aardvark. However, I haven't ever come across one in my lifetime of leopards. So it's very nice to learn something new, to see something new. If I were to be asked in a few days, a few weeks time, what was one of the highlights, I would say, wow, there was lightning. No, not that. I would say that it would be the sight of that poor aardvark in the tree, and I accept that it was probably gruesome, grotesque, maybe gross, however you want to put it. For a lot of viewers, I know how sensitive a lot of the viewers are that can't really or don't really want to look at these things, but they're aware that this process takes, so that there's an understanding that these happen, but there's a choice of not watching when these things happen, and I accept that. It's hard for me too to sit there and observe that, but of course the animal is dead already, so it's a leopard having a meal. And he, being an animal that is an opportunist of note, quite remarkable that he's found a niche, that he's got a unique prey source that he has learned how to either pull out of a hole, which I find difficult, or to wait until it comes out, to know how to sniff it out that there's an aardvark in a burrow. I suppose what I'm getting at, Beth, is that generally aardvark don't really have to worry about leopards. I suppose they encounter leopards from time to time, but I would imagine that at times leopards ignore them because they're not really worth the effort, maybe. Or like some leopards who won't even try with a porcupine because it's not worth the effort. Maybe the disadvantages that come with it. With an aardvark, who knows? There isn't really much of a defense. An aardvark has its claws. I'm not too sure how much an aardvark can fight back. An aardvark has a unique face. It has a very elongated face. It has an elongated jaw without any sort of incisors or canines. It has kind of rudimentary molars in the back of its mouth. Because mostly an aardvark, all it's really doing is it's eating termites mostly, as opposed to pangolin, which actually mostly eats ants, funnily enough, rather than termites. Two completely different insects. But the aardvark, I believe, the tongue of an aardvark has a sheath that runs almost all the way down the spine. It's an incredible anatomy, the aardvark. And it's got these cheek teeth, rather unique cheek teeth, I believe, because every now and then it feeds on certain species of cucumber, wild cucumber. Perhaps more so in places like the Kalahari, where it has been observed doing so. Then here, we do get a lot of different cucumber species here. I don't know whether they've ever fed on them. It would be very interesting to see the stomach contents of that aardvark. Of course, I don't think Tingana is going to let any of us get anywhere close enough to observe that, but so much opportunity for learning with a circumstance and a scenario like this. So most of the time I would say that aardvark protect themselves by staying in their burrows, or rather escaping to burrows. They don't have the teeth to fight. They certainly have the claws and the strength in their forearms because of the digging that they do. Forearms and fingers and claws, as you could see. You could see those claws, those arms hanging down, although most of them eat them. Golly gosh, quite an interesting sighting. When I said surprise, I had no idea. I think I embarrassed myself hugely. I heard the one guy sitting behind me giggle. So I didn't hear what it was that he had in the tree, and I got there and I wasn't looking, and I was saying, oh, it must be a steenbok, because I saw this white rump, and in the yellow light it looked like beige on the outside of the rump. Beautiful lightning. So it was quite embarrassing when I noticed it was an aardvark and I'd been calling it a steenbok. And there's a rookie ranger behind me giggling. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, well, honest mistake, or silly mistake, whatever, it was a mistake. I was wrong. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're driving south. I'm going to have the storm in front of us. Turn some of this light off, that light off, and that light off. Let's see if there's going to be a flash of lightning. Bless you, bless you. Andrew sneezes. Bingo. Oh no, it's an animal sneezes. Is it an animal sneeze or Andrew sneeze? Right, so there's our camera operator sneezing. So there's the ground ahead of us where I'm shining the light, and I want it to be a little bit dark because I'm hoping there's going to be a flash of lightning for you to see. Although it's receded now, it's headed way north, we're not going to get much of it. Whoa, there's a little bit. You move the camera to the left and the lightning's on the right, and you move the camera to the right and the lightning's on the left. It's teasing. Alright, well, we don't want you to be in the dark for too long. Hopefully you'll get to see some of it as we drive along. Lots of wildebeests, but we can't see them. Well, briefly, should we just briefly? Wildebeest, zebra, impala. You can see some of the eyes reflecting. I don't want to shine on them for too long, especially out here in the open. Oh, there's lightning. But it never strikes twice, so you point the camera where the lightning was, it's going to strike somewhere else. Anyways, we're turning away. That's almost due north for us. It's time to start heading a little bit west and getting back towards Juma. Maybe we'll be lucky with something else. I guess what we can do, since they're hyena under the tree, although I don't think Tingana would be really intimidated by a couple of little hyena under the tree. If he was finished, he'd just jump down and move on. Wait until they were distracted. And the cats continue. Cat streak. There are no cats on Juma at the moment, so we're lucky we've got a cat. There?
There you go. It's 15 days now. Or was it 16?
I don't know, was it the 1st of March?
Around there.
Here at Thuza, heading back to Juma. So now that leopard Tingana would be Mvula's rival now. What I'm interested in, since I don't know, first time I'm seeing Tingana, and now I can put things into perspective because now I've seen him. Who can tell me of our leopard fundis? Is there a relationship? Is there any familial relationship between Tingana and Mvula? Is there any family history, family tree? Also, come to think of it, even though it was a dead aardvark, there was not much left of an aardvark. The first aardvark I've seen in quite a long time. Vehicle. Sorry. Lights make it a bit better. Widen the view. Oh, Oh, oh,
Wow.
that distracted me. There was a huge bolt of light. Should get the rumble of thunder. There it is. They're brothers. Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Interesting that they kind of got back-to-back territories. Who was that, Alex, that said they're brothers? Deborah in Ontario. Thanks, Deborah. So that means he's also 10. If they ever get together, that's another question. Deborah, anybody? Have they ever been seen interacting, and how have they interacted with each other? Has there been aggression? Has there been animosity? In Pennsylvania. Oh, we got traffic coming. Hey, Bonnie wanting to know, since we got lightning, Bonnie wants to know about lightning bugs or glowworms. I'm going to have to pause in that, Bonnie, because I've got traffic coming my way and my lights are quite bright, so I'm going to pull off the road, let all these people come by, and then there's going to be dust that settles and hellos need to be made, so just give me a moment, please. And maybe let's kill this for now, just dim it a little bit because it's a little bit bright. Bye-bye.
Cheers, man.
Hey,
Did you get to see him?
Oh, fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sighting, man.
I thought for me it's the first time ever.
Really?
But I believe it's his fourth in a year.
No, it's his second, but it's the third time we've seen a leopard on the aardvark in a year.
No, evidently somebody told me that that's his fourth this year.
You must come. I've got video footage of him killing the one.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he going in to take them out, or is he intimidating them to come?
The one we saw him, he stalked it for about 10 minutes before he cut it.
Oh, okay. So it was above the ground already.
Yes,
Very interesting. Thanks. Yeah.
Cheers, Mark.
Bye. Good evening. Good night. Sleep well. Sleep tight. Bonnie, lightning bugs and glowworms. Yes, I can't show you any now, I'm afraid, because they aren't out at the moment. There might be, this kind of weather actually could get maybe around Gary Dam, but it would be very hard to see them because they're kind of bright lights around Gary Dam, and it'd be hard. You can't see a lightning bug in the light. It has to be dark to see it. Sometimes when there's the camera at Gary Dam, you get moths and things that fly in front of the camera, and they get the light reflecting off of their wings, and they kind of flicker or glow, and people think that they're lightning bugs, but they're not. They're just moths and other insects, because you will never, especially in like the light that's on me, or in the light of the vehicle, we wouldn't get to see them at all. But they're mostly around water, rivers, dams, especially because the females, which are not, well, let's just go back one step. Lightning bugs are actually beetles, they're not bugs, and we call them fireflies, and they neither flies nor bugs, they're beetles, although you know me and semantics. But the female is known as a glowworm, and she's also not a worm. She's beetle, but she doesn't ever get to the adult stage with the wing covers, the elytra and flying wings like the male. She stays almost in the larval form. Oh, hello, little scrub here. Oh, and there are 2 little ones, 2 children. I'm just gonna, don't want to put too bright a light on them. I'll just do that. 2 little bunny rabbits. They're not rabbits, they're hares. Like beetles are not bugs, hares are not rabbits. Okay, sorry, they're 2 youngsters and I don't want to bother them too much. They're both probably scared out of their minds. Don't mind saying hello to adults, but when they're 2 little ones on their own without mom and dad, then best to leave them be before an owl or something sees them. Now the female lightning bug, which is known as a glowworm, and as I say, it's neither a bug nor a worm, she has a fixed light and she stays close to the water's edge, usually, not necessarily, sometimes, most of the time, and her constant glow attracts the males who have a flashing light, and they compete with each other with those flashing lights. And I suppose the intensity of the light flashing changes when he's closest to the female, so somehow that has determined the sexual selection in the species, or rather dictates a level of sexual or natural selection based on the males flashing. Anyways, going way off subject, as I do. This hot, humid evening that we have might bring them out closer to Gowrie Dam. It might be possible to see 1 or 2, but I think most insects are kind of the end of the road for them. There might be a few pupating. I've noticed a few mantids flying around. There have been 1 or 2 click beetles flying around. And there are a lot of insects, but a lot of the most notable insects, some of the large beetles, especially things like the fireflies and longhorns, dung beetles, a lot of insects that have a very temporary life as an adult insect, spend most of their life as larvae doing something, performing a vital function in nature by consuming something. So that the adult form is merely a reproductive form. All they do is reproduce to make more larvae to eat whatever they're supposed to eat, whether it's rotting animal matter or rotting vegetation or live vegetation or dead wood or horn or bone. No, not many things eat bone. Or each other. Wonderful evening, wonderful day. It was really fun to have a storm. Yeah, crappie, thanks. Been a wonderful day. Also, especially with that storm that blew through here. It's quite exciting. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to Brent and Brian and something on the other vehicle, on Jigger. Alex in final control. From Andrew and myself here on Wendy. We'll see you in the morning drive. We'll see what else we can find here. Maybe I can show you some of those insects I'm talking about. I've got them. I've been carrying them in a little jar for the last week since I've been back. Okay, it's not a week, half a week. And when there's time, we'll look at some insects. Bye everybody, love you lots.